Welcome back everyone to Beyond the Adventure. Today I'm taking a look at the Season 5 mid-season return of Adventure Wednesday where we go up to Mount Tom State Reservation. Let's get started. So getting this episode started, the first thing I wanted to show you was the sign pulling into the reservation from Route 5. Typically when I go into the reservation I'm heading north on Route 5. This time I was heading south when I pulled in. Anyways, just giving you guys a brief intro, welcoming you back to Season 5. And like I was saying here, the main thing that I guess that I brought you up here for was the search of the Grinch for the start of Season 3. If you guys want to check that out, or if you missed that episode and want to check it out, the link is up here or down below in the description. Anyways, moving on into the park here. I haven't been up to this park as much as I usually go to the park. I think I've only gone once since we went on our trip down to Georgia back in the spring. And that's because during the summer months they charge, I think it's $7 admission to get in for the day, or $10 to get in on the weekends, where you can buy a state vehicle parking pass, which is good for all parks, for like $65, which I think is just ridiculously overpriced. Especially considering that the state doesn't really take care of the parks as much as they used to. Anyways, moving in here, the first stop on this adventure is at Bray Lake. I've taken you guys here before in the past. I brought you around here for a walk in the winter, and I also had some drone footage from last fall when I went up here. So if you want to check those videos out, the links will be up here or down below. But as you can see, it's extremely windy this day. That is why the drone did not go up in the air. That's why I didn't even bother to bring the drone with me. Like I said, I did go through here once before, which was about 2.5 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. We had a couple of very cold days and there was ice starting to form on the lake right here, but nonetheless the ice has melted and the water's opened back up again. So it's not safe for ice skating or ice fishing or anything like that. But like I said, there's this nice trail that goes around the entire lake. It's not really a long walk. I'd say if you walk at a normal pace, it'd probably take you 20 minutes to a half an hour or so to do. It actually leads all through the woods here and goes all along the skirt of the lake. I brought you in there in the winter, like I said before, when everything was frozen in time for the winter slumber. But this is a nice spot to go to. They do have that little dock that you guys saw in one of the clips right there where you can go on. It's actually not a bad spot to go fishing in the summer. The dock was right there on the right. This kind of point right there. I don't know, you can barely make it out in the pine trees, but there's a log laying down and that's kind of where the trail snakes around that way. But anyways, just getting ready to leave this spot here. You can barely see it in the window in the background, but there is a bathroom slash half visitor center there, because there's another visitor center that you will see in a minute, which is the main visitor center of the park, going through the park this way. Right there on the left was the location of the No Water waterfall from an episode of Free For All Friday, way back in the first season when we had a crazy drought going on in the area. To the right there is the Hampton Area, another really cool spot. I brought the drone up there last year in a couple of clips. But directly in front of us right now, that is a visitor center right there. Go around this loop and head up to Bray Tower, which is a series of these fire watch towers that they have on the mountain. I believe there's 4 of them in total. I've only ever been able to find 3 of them. There's this one. There's the one when you get up to Goat's Peak, which is also another location that I've taken you guys before. And there's another one even further up there, which is where the ruins of the Erie House are, which is kind of where I did the search for the Grinch, was briefly around that area. These structures are very, very cool though. No matter what time of the year you go to the top of them, they're always windy, and this one was shaking quite a bit because we did have some pretty gusty winds. It doesn't really show up that much right here. You can kind of see a little bit of shimmering or a little bit of shaking in the camera there, but you can see all the clouds moving by extremely fast, and the trees, even though they don't have that many leaves on them, are shaking violently. That is the town of East Hampton right there. There is a water tower right there that you can see to the kind of rightish side of your screen, and then that's all of downtown East Hampton. And there's the mill buildings, there's a canal walk, a bike path, and a couple other fun things to do down there. They recently had an award, I think it was about 4 years ago, for like the cleanest tasting water in Massachusetts or something like that. So ever since there's been an excessive number of microbreweries popping up. We've pretty much gone to all of them that are there. There's 4 or 5 different microbreweries just in that small town alone. I also have some really cool places to go get lunch. Very, very good places to go get lunch, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about this episode of Adventure Wednesday in Mount Tom State Reservation. This is always a nice spot to go up to because there is quite a bit of parking and there's no like person limit on the tower right there. You know, obviously if you have 50 people up there and it doesn't look safe, it's not safe to go up there, but nonetheless we're heading down back towards the visitor center that is right there, and instead of going left, which would have brought you back to Route 5, we are going straight, which brings you to Route 141, where the log cabin is, where the Summit House is, or Tavern on the Hill is the name of it. It was called something else when I was younger. Both very good restaurants slash banquet facilities. Well, one is a banquet facility, one is a restaurant. That's a cool spot right there. You guys might remember that if you've watched some previous episodes. There is a 1927 or 1928 stone crusher that is there from when the Army Corps of Engineers actually came through and built this place. But there's all these little cutouts right here on the road when you're coming in and out of the park, when you're on the 141 side, and it's quite a view. As you can see there, there's a bunch of trees leaning over and broken and stuff like that. That's because a microburst hit there a few years ago and just completely changed the face of that side of the mountain. Now, as a little behind the scenes stuff here as I'm talking and ending out the episode, my original plan wasn't to go to here for the mid-season return of Season 5. My original plan was to go to a place called Skinner State Park, where you would have been able to see the location from where I ended the mid-season from. So I was going to do like a zoom into there and then a zoom into here to kind of open it up, and I was going to show you guys that park because I've only gone there once on the motorcycle for Moto Monday, which was last year. But nonetheless, we got there, the park was closed, and it's not a long walk, but it is kind of strenuous because it's pretty much straight uphill to get there, to get to the top where the White House is located. But here's just a quick little time lapse of the road. This was taken on a Monday afternoon, so as you can see, it's not really that busy. But during leaf peeping season, this area right here is prime, especially since all the trees have fallen over. You can look over and you can see the city of East Hampton, or the town of East Hampton. You can see the valley, all the colors and everything like that. I always like this little rock cutout ledge up there. Whenever we do hike to the top of Mount Tom, I always like sitting on that one because it's kind of away from where the normal trails that bring you up to the top of the mountain lead to, so it keeps it very quiet in there. But anyways, this is the final shot of the episode, and that is going to do it for today's episode of Beyond the Adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you did by giving it a thumbs up. If you guys have ever been to Mount Tom State Reservation, let me know by commenting down below. I will see everybody tomorrow for Thungry Thursday Beer of the Week. Peace.